Let everybody get in here as we get all situated here on this Wednesday, April 1st. Yeah, April 1st. Let's see if the audio is working. Everybody get counting down, get in, got a big show for you. Hear myself. There we go. I do hear myself. That's all good. All righty. Countdown about down. I'm ready to roll in a minute. Everybody kind of get situated, get ready to go. Let's move the coffee over here. All cluttered up desks today, too. All righty. Counting down. We're no longer coming up next. It is now officially showtime here on this April 1st edition. April 1st edition. I good to see Casey out there. You're just about to leave for Orlando, my friend. Looking forward to getting back to seeing you guys. So, gosh, it's going to be soon, soon, soon. Let's move this down right there. 50 days tomorrow. Let's go. Let's roll it in 3, 2, 1. You guys ready for the show? I'm ready. You're ready. Let's roll it. The beautiful sounds of baseball, Sioux City style. Here we go.
Well, it's baseball time in Siouxland once again. The Explorers are out to bring home another win. And when they take the field, they'll be hitting and running and stealing. So come out to the park for that big league good time feeling. Well, it's baseball Sioux City style. Baseball Sioux City style. Gonna conquer the league. Hold on to your seat. The Explorers just won't be beat.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Baseball, Sioux City style, complete with TV dancing. Oh, I missed it. I missed the cue there. John, how you doing? John went out there as well. Let's bring this down here. That's Baseball Sioux City style. Glad you're along on this April 1st edition. A lot to get to. Short time to get there. For the next hour or so, Bobby Post will be our featured guest today. Looking forward to chatting with Bobby in about 5 minutes or so, 6 minutes, something like that. A lot to get to. Now, we're going to get you what you missed. We always do that, what you missed. Also on the podcast edition for you folks, you'll get the bonus content there. And a lot of folks are probably tuning in today because in the second half of the show, we're going to answer as best I can the cashless questions that came up on Monday's post. But a lot of angst, a lot of emotion about the cashless announcement. We'll talk more about that. I'll answer your questions, open it up the door, and you guys can come and with any extra questions. But I've got all the answers. Everybody that posted on social media, I've got your answers right here in my script. I've got it all. Did a little research. Trying to calm everybody down about the cashless announcement. We got that. Talk a little BCL as well. A lot to get to. Short time to get there. So, question of the show, couple things. It is April Fool's, right? So there's all kinds of crazy things out there. This is a bonus question that came up after the fact because when I wrote this last night, my original question, and it's pretty much what I think we all agree on. Do you like this ABS, this automatic balls and strikes system the major leagues debuted? Is it coming our way? I think at some point we're going to see something everywhere, but let me move the camera just a tad there too. There we go. Do you like this ABS system? If you has it brought any better enjoyment to the game? Has it brought any angst for you? Going to see banana ball rules for Brad. He's all fired about that. Yeah, Brad saw that today as well. It is April Fools. Digest that what you now. I'm going to get to that in a moment too because when we get back to those whole conversations about some of the April Fools things the league has done and other teams have done, what would the ultimate April Fools be? I'll talk about that in a few minutes. But again, question: do you like the EBS? Do you like it? Do you think it's good? I think it's here to stay. We'll chat a bit about that a little bit later on. Um, Also, the other item is, well, what's your favorite April Fool's joke of all? Do you have an April Fool's joke of all time? I mean, to me, and I'll just start with this. I'm always reminded, as I was actually, I think, a senior or junior in high school when the whole remember the Sid Finch thing that came out on King County side Mickey Cabrera. There's that. Well, he did play in King County at one time back in the old days, right? When they affiliated ranks, right? Didn't he? Didn't he? Pretty sure he did. That's Curtis Haug on that. But yeah, Brad, you're right on about that. Um, Remember the old Sports Illustrated piece, the Sid Finch piece about this uh, mythical baseball pitcher? Do you remember that? It was an April Fool's thing years ago, and I think I was either a junior or senior in high school. I know because by the time I got to Tech, we had a couple of fraternity brothers who, when we were playing intramurals, especially softball or baseball, uh, they were nicknamed Sid Finch because suddenly they came out of nowhere with this baseball prowess. So anyway, throw it out there right there. So as we roll here, April 1st, we'll get to some of those April. Let's do that real quickly here. April Fool's items here. Some of the things you may have seen today. Let's see. Where are my April Fool's graphics? Here we go. April Fool's. There we go. Banana ball rules. Brad was just talking about that. 2 years ago, 2 years ago, Cleveland signed Derek Holland. Of course, Derek Holland's agent, none too happy. By the way, Derek Holland's a really good social media follow. If you like following ex big leaguers, he's a fun follow. He does some fun bits, does some good TikTok stuff. He's also really into the Dallas Fort Worth sports scene, so he loves the Metroplex teams. He's a fun guy to follow. I believe he's from Ohio originally. I think that's right. But yeah, he was none too happy. But again, banana ball rules come to the association in 26. You may have seen this breaking news of the day. Um, Again, I got something to say about this, and I'll get to it in a moment. There we go. There is the one that came in from Winnipeg last hour. Last hour, Winnipeg sent this out. Now, I got to read this correctly because I believe I got it right. Winnipeg, in a move that absolutely no one asked for, but everyone somehow understands, the Gold Eyes will rebrand under an alternate identity this year. The strike, fear, and irritation and mild itching that comes from Manitoba mosquitoes. As we say in Australia, mozzies. Down in Texas, skeeters. I got a bite right here from last night in Grandview, as a matter of fact. So they're doing a mosquito rebrand, but April Fools right there. That was a good one right there for no friends up in there in Winnipeg, Jason Young and company. And this one right here from the beer leaders and the folks on Discord that Nate Gherkin retired. This is what they posted in the chat today. I know better because Nate texted me about 20 minutes ago. He may jump on the show in a few minutes if I can get a link to him to chat with Bobby as well about mound visit conversations. If I can connect all the dots in a few minutes, we'll try to get to that. But again, just some fun stuff that's all out there. There's a lot of good stuff out there. I had a couple of mates of mine who retired from their jobs today for a day. It is the worst day for journalists, though, right? April 1st is the worst day. If you're an AP reporter, if you're a standard old school reporter, I mean, by the book media guy, where you cover New York Yankees, for example, you're an old school scribe. This is the worst day for you because all the bits come up and you're like you're trying to do your normal routine is 7 days a week of media and you're trying to be a serious reporter, and yet all of a sudden you're getting these random things coming up and all that. And it's a tough day for real journal. Now, not for the new age journalists, the young kids, the influencers out there. It's their best day. Influencers love this day. But old school media folks, they hate it. I remember working in the newsroom when I was in school at the ABC affiliate in Lubbock, and I remember this was one of the days that the news director said, "Okay, be on guard today. There's going to be some fun stuff. We'll have fun with it, but also remember it's April Fools, right?" So there's that. But then again, that right there, and I believe Bobby's about the virtual green. Bring him in right now. Our guest, Bobby Post, joining us in 3, 2, 1. There he is, folks. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, Danny? How you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. You got all hooked out. You in the office? Are you in your office?
I'm in my office today. Yeah,
So
yeah,
you must be doing a little work today, huh?
yeah. I mean, it's April Fool's Day, so I thought I'd play a trick and show up to work.
That's good. I love it. I love it. Well, and this is not a plan. We were actually going to have you last week. We got our schedules crossed, but so this wasn't an April Fool's event but it could have very well been, but it worked out that way. But first off, how are things going for you? What's going on?
Good. I mean, just plugging along. I mean, trying to continue to build it. Me and Steve were just on the phone a little while ago, and a couple players come to mind. So we're trying to figure out what we want to do and what moves we want to make next. But it's that time of year where we call it the frenzy, right? When all the releases are coming through and guys are looking for jobs. But it's kind of been slow moving a little bit this year, so we'll see what we can do towards the end.
You and I talked about this a little bit already, I think, with Christmas time, but do you feel like when you look back on the year, and as we look back on last year, as we get further down the road, it feels better, but unfinished business?
100%. Um, you know, I'm very disappointed how the season ended last year. I think everybody was. Um, the run that we went on, I didn't expect. I mean, I didn't expect us to have the best record in baseball. Um, I figured the pitching staff would do what they did, but I wasn't sure where we were going to be offensively and defensively. And those guys, I mean, stepped up. Um, I I hate losing. You know that. I'm not a guy that takes losses very well, but to lose to Sioux Falls uh, put the dagger in me a little more. And I like Mike and I like Duo. I mean, those guys are a class act down there. But it's like that Iowa Nebraska rivalry, right? Like us and Sioux Falls have that a little bit of that rivalry going on, and um, Jabari Henry killed us. And I'm not going to say Sioux Falls beat us. Jabari Henry beat us. And it's kind of aggravating because we went away from the game plan on how to pitch him. And he hurt us, and he hurt us bad. He single-handedly beat us. So when I see Jabari on the field, I might sucker punch him.
I spelled a sucker punch, but yeah, he was a wrecking crew. Um, let's also that we transition, and I know you and I talk a lot. We all stay in contact. I know what's going on, but I want to ask it this way: do you have to carry an extra phone charger with you all the time because you're on that daggum thing constantly?
Yeah, it's funny because me and Steve were together. Geez, probably 3-4 weeks ago, and it's right when the frenzy started. We're both scrambling for phone chargers because his is at 3%, mine's at 4%, and we're on the phone with agents and kids calling in and everything else. And it's just that time of year where you got to have a backup plan. You got to have that phone charger with you at all times because you just never know how long you're going to be on the phone. And the funny part is Raph starting to experience it, right? So last year he kind of did the stuff with the Pioneer League, but we got him more involved with calling guys and getting organizational checks, and now he's like, oh my gosh, like this is nonstop. I'm like, yeah, this is how it goes. You forget when you've been out, and now you're back in how it goes. So he's getting a little taste of it now.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you about him a bit later on, but pitching wise, I got 9 arms, 7 righties, 2 lefties, wide open competition, I would say.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very competitive camp, and I just signed a kid yesterday. And I don't know if it's been announced yet or not, but
Yeah,
I'm very, very excited to see this kid. He walked into a facility and asked to throw a bullpen, and he was 94, 96 in the pen with a plus plus slider. And one of our former Sioux City guys, in John Eli, who was a pitching coach of the White Sox and now is doing kind of agent stuff in Chicago, called me and said, "Bob, this guy's a no brainer. Like he's Rob Wart in today's day and age. And if you get compared to Rob Wart, you're doing something right because Rob was probably one of the best arms I've ever had pitch for me. But yeah, it's going to be a wide open camp. I think, we're looking for that closer role. We're looking for probably the 4 or 5 starter role. We got the 1, 2 probably solidified a little bit. Um, but, losing Chase Jesse and losing Cepeda, those aren't easy shoes to fill. So, I need someone to step up and take that back end of the bullpen role and that closer role.
said 1-2. Do you have an idea who 1-2 might be?
I do, and I don't even know if the number one's been announced yet or not. But
I have no idea. That's why I'm at breaking news here. I'm just going to get an idea what you might think.
former Sioux City was a guy that was very very loved in our locker room last year. Um, we lost him to an organization, and it sounds like he's coming back. So if Zach comes back, um, he'll be the number one, obviously. So can't confirm or deny if that happened or what we're doing yet, but I'm feeling very, very favorable that he's going to be on opening day starter come May.
Put you in the old seat I used to sit in when I would come as a visitor, because you guys have done this before. You've had the Rob Wards of the world, just insert all these guys have come and gone that you built up, took off, and you just reloaded every time. And I've seen it happen time and time as I'd come in. Oh, I've never heard of this guy, but I know the Bobby Post and Steve Montgomery, what they got working. Why is that? How are you guys able to manufacture such success rate of filling those roles, especially that back end?
You know, I think it started back in 2015 when we had the Patrick Johnson, the Ryan Zimmerman, the John Straka, Eric Waterkemper, those type of guys.
Yeah.
And what the success they had in Sioux City kind of lingered to the 16, 17 teams. And then all of a sudden, you're known as the organization for pitching. And it helps when you have the Taylor Scotts, Anthony Bender, Connor Overton, Parker Markle, Joe Bicenius. Everybody forgets about Joe, right?
Yeah.
Joe was the first guy to go from Sioux City to the big leagues, and Bicenius was a local kid from Sioux City. Made it to the big leagues with the Phillies, and then came to us and got picked up by the Nationals, and made it to the big leagues. But I think when you have those couple guys make it, and scouts and agents see that, you're the first phone call. You're doing something right, and we kind of put ourselves on the map as the pitching guys. And when guys leave here, they say good things about you, and they tell their buddies, "Hey, Bobby did this for me," or "Raph did this for me," or whatever it may be. And next thing you know, that friend's calling, and then you get him, and then his friends calling, and that's Kansas City where you were at. That's where Joe does such a great job with his team, right? Everybody goes, man, how does he get 8, 9 big leaguers? It's because his buddies just got released, and he's like, hey, let's come have fun and come play with me in Kansas City. Next thing you know, you got 3 or 4 big leaguers. So that's more of how it happens more than us, working the lines or working the phones. Our players are the best recruiters.
Flores Expresso, Bobby Post with us here, April 1st edition here, talking X's baseball and all that implies. Relationships, they matter. You guys cultivate them. I know Roth talked about it last week as well. Mongo's got that Rolodex virtually in the head, in the phone. You too. Gotta have them, man. Gotta have relationships.
Oh, 100%. You got to have contacts, and especially independent baseball. We don't have a farm director to call. We don't have a player development to call. We gotta work the phones ourselves. And if you look at guys that come into this league that have organizational experience, they struggle their first year because they don't know how to go get players. They don't have the contacts. They don't have. We don't have a draft where they're sending 15 rounds of kids to us. We're trying to recycle guys that careers are over, basically. And you got to have those contacts with agents. You got to have that rapport. But I think most important, you got to have the trust of the people that you're dealing with. And when you get the trust of the agents and you get trust of organizations and scouts, you get the good players.
At this year's roster, do you have anybody that maybe you're like, I know you like projects, but do you have a project this year you've already identified, or you're still looking for one?
I'm still looking for one. I mean, Butts comes to mind. I mean, I've done some stuff with him already as far as watching his videos and kind of having the communication and talk with him. But you know, it's you never know what you're going to get until you walk through that door in spring training, right? Usually, I have enough video or data on them that I've watched that I can go, okay, this is going to be my guy that I'm going to have to do a lot of work with. But I really haven't identified that guy yet. There's a guy that I'm very, very excited to see that I'm hoping I can get the deal done because if I do, it's going to be a huge boost to us. And I should know here in the next 24 to 48 hours of what he's going to do, if he's going to come to us or not. But I think Reed is going to be a guy that is going to be a guy that's going to have a huge year for us. And he's going to do some improvements that I think have a chance to get out of here.
Came up too in the broadcast, my high school broadcast a couple weeks ago, and I've always talked about how you guys were really, and I continue to do it. You get as many arms, you kind of sort it out, right? I mean, that's sort of the philosophy. But do you sit there in the back of your mind, even though you do that, do you have in your mind already, okay, I'd like to see this guy start, even though he probably projects as a reliever, or vice versa? Do you ever had that situation come up?
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at our rotation, our guys that had the most success, we converted from bullpen arms to starters. Patrick Johnson did not want to be a starter. Like, we had to sit him down, hit him over the head with the fungo. He called his dad. He comes in and goes 15-1 with an ERA under 2, right?
Yeah.
Williman, Marmon. I mean, those were both bullpen arms. One was your closer.
Yeah.
And he came in the starting role and did what he did. Now he's over making pretty good money in Taiwan. And Willie put himself on the map as a starter, got picked up by the Reds. I don't think in all the years of doing this, I've had a guy that has been a true starter. And then if you think about a true starter going to the bullpen, Chase Jesse was a starter that I convinced in the offseason that you got to go to the bullpen because your left on left numbers are ridiculous. And if you can get right handers out the same way you get left handers, you can have a chance. And he did. So I think sometimes you get, as a pitcher, you get caught up in that I'm a starter, I'm a starter, I'm a starter, or I'm a reliever, I'm a reliever. Sometimes you got to make that switch, that transition, because if you can start, they know you can relieve. It's hard going from that reliever to the starter role because you're not built up. You're not used to going 5, 6 innings, throwing 85, 90, 100 pitches. You're used to 1 and 20 pitches. So, yeah, there's always those guys that we tweak or we try to convince to be a starter or a reliever.
Post with us on Explorers Expresso. Dan Vaughn on this April 1st edition here. Just a couple more things. We're going to have a little fun here as well. But, you know, the wish list. Do you have a wish list still? I mean, you guys are pretty close, but I mean, is there a wish list, baseball wish list that you need that you guys still got to get as a closer? I think you mentioned earlier, is the back end guy what you're looking for?
I think so. I think my wish list right now is finding that guy that come in and give us the win in the ninth inning. Of course, if you ask Raph, his wish list would probably be about 6'2", 205, but I mean, I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, I mean, you're always wishing that superstar falls in your lap somewhere, whether it's on the mound or offensively. So I always keep my fingers crossed that sometime between now and May 15th we get that big bopper or that big arm. So we'll see what happens.
Oh man, good stuff. Bobby Post with us here. Now let's have some fun. Raphael was on the show last week. You had a chance to see said show. Did you think he was any better than last year? Or is he still deserving to have no show during the regular season?
I don't think he's earned it. I really don't.
Because you know what's going to happen. He's going to keep asking me until he gets a show. You know that, right?
100%. I mean, but here's the thing: how can we have?
Oh, lost Bobby there. Oops, sorry about that. We're having fun. Well, he'll be right back with us in a moment here on Explorers Expresso. I don't. Maybe it's me. I've got my hardwired in. He'll get right back to us here in just a second here. But we start talking bad about Raf, and then all of a sudden Bobby disappears. So we'll wait for him to show back up again here on Explorers Expresso. Dan Vaughn with you. I was going to try something funny too, but it looks like we got our wires crossed, so we will dispense with the bits. But we got a couple more minutes of Bobby if he swings back by here, as I lost him for a moment. But a busy group of guys. But what I think you see in that line of questioning is that this is a staff that loves each other and cares. And here we go. He's back now. We'll get him right back here. Lost him for a moment. Sorry about that. Let's get him back. Oh, wrong direction here. Got to get my buttons pushed up right here. Went the wrong way there. There we go. I was saying, Bobby, tongue in cheek, that I know you guys, we have fun. And you know, Rob doesn't got his own show yet, but there's a relationship. You guys do have a special bond. Yes, you guys do. There's a lot of humor involved, but there's a love there too.
Oh, absolutely. I've known Raph for 20 years, um, and he's one of my closest friends. He is probably one of the best hitting coaches in the game, and what he does, and he does a very good job breaking it down and working with the guys, right? And guys trust him, even though, you look at Raph and he's, you know, 5'1", 260 pounds, and he looks like he's got no neck and his shoulders are connected to his ears. Um, he's actually a very approachable guy. He's a great dude. He's one of my closest friends. Um, and what he does with the hitters, I mean, you look at what he did last year just on some of the guys and how he turned their careers around. And if you ask him, he worked miracles every night. Um, he did this, he did that. He's watching the movie Miracle. I mean, it's eyewash. Let's be honest, Dan. Me and you know that. Like the stuff he does on the bus, with the movies and all the quotes. It's eyewash, is what it
Right,
is.
right.
And we can't see him over the seats. All we hear is his little voice quoting the movie Miracle. I'm over it. I'm tired of it. And if it happens this year, he's out. He's off the bus.
Now, now, Bobby, I do have a little something for you right now because this came up before we went on the air. But I want to talk mound visits. So Nate Gherkin's going to join me real quickly here, and it's a group effort. Nate, can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, so I got us all here. We're all here together. There we go. We're all here together. Um, I want to find out what's the best mound visit story when you've been out there and Bobby's come out, or vice versa. I want you guys to I want to find out how great the mound visits are.
I don't. Last time Dan asked, you see, we lost Bobby again.
Lost Bobby again. Bobby, come back! Don't run! Don't run! Come back, Bobby. So what? Give me a good mound visit story.
Well, I don't know. There's ones where he comes out and I don't call him. There's been times where I've called him out just to either talk about something stupid or whatever the case may be. But there was a couple times last year when I got comebackers back to me and went off my foot or glove or something, and he just comes to the mound and after the quick "Are you okay?" then it's just calling me old or giving me a breather or whatever the case may be. But there's been some funny ones over the years. I'm sure he's got some.
Yeah, well, he'll be back. Bobby, come back! I just
But I agree with
want.
him. I don't think Raph deserves a show yet. He hasn't put in the work.
Well, I was hoping for like some really great because we're all sitting there as fans, like worrying about what's going on. You guys are out there discuss. I have a vision. It's probably about what's for dinner or that
Well,
kind
you
of stuff.
notice every time Bobby comes to the mound, I always make sure I take a step off so he can go on the mound and not be as short up there.
Bobby, come back. I mean,
I think there was a few with Dylan Kelly that we would just call him out just to either mess with him or give me a breather or ask him like 2 outs, nobody on. We'll just call him to the mound just for fun to mess with him.
oh, I lost him. I hope he comes back. I just text him. I don't know. It's got there. I just wanted a good story for this April Fool's Day. I just thought it'd be good. Oh, he's trying to get back on. He's going to get back on this second. So he's had little internet issues there in his office, but he'll be back
It's
with us
either
in just
his
a second.
internet or your internet's too good.
No,
It's
no,
throwing
no.
everybody
Well,
else off.
mine's rocking. And again, somebody says Jason's and Nate wasn't so dang tall. There's that too. So it's also Emily says it's a lot of time waiting for the ump to walk up so we can yell at the ump. There's that too. There that actually is a Emily. You know this. Emily knows this. That actually very true. That's a very true deal. That's actually
Yeah, but
happened.
see, with me though, a lot of the times, like I've already done the yelling at the umpires, so they don't really have to come out there. But last year, I held my cool and I didn't really say too much, so it actually worked out in my favor that way.
All
But
right.
there's
Well,
been many times where they've taken a visit and they just say, "Hey, we're just gonna wait till the umpire gets here."
all
So
right. Well, Gert, luckily this was false. This retired thing that they put on. This was the Discord for the beer leaders. They had you retiring today as April Fool's joke, by the way.
the beer leaders.
Well, Nate, I'll
Yeah.
let you go so Bobby can get back in. I got here. Wait. He's here. Here he is. Hold on. Here he is. He's back. He's back. He's back. He's back. I hear you, Bobby. You're back.
Uh,
Let's put us all on the
I don't know
screen
what
here
happened.
together. There we go. So we were talking about okay, we were just talking about this, and Emily even brought this up. Emily just brought it up as well. That oftentimes, you know, their backs are turned, or your back's turned, the umpire's coming out, and they're setting up for whatever's happening next.
I just tell him, let me know when he gets here. And, I mean, most of the times I'm just talking to my guys, and the umpire has rabbit ears and he wants to get in my conversation. So I got to let him know I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
talking to him.
just talking to his guys.
I'm just talking to my guys. Like I'm just telling them. I agree with you. The zone is horse whatever. This guy stinks, and he just happens to be standing there, and he wants to get in my conversation. So then I gotta let him have it.
I mean, it, there is a science to this whole thing here, but when you all right, we were having fun here on this April Fool's Day, but so Girk's out there, Bobby, and he's maybe whatever it is you see. Do you come out there and point out the obvious, or do you come out and you try to be lighthearted and point out the unobvious? I mean, how's that work exactly?
Most
Yeah, the
really
obvious.
most of the time, yeah, most of the time I go out to see Girk is I got to get him a break when he runs over to cover first base. And he's gassed. So that's mostly I got to go out there, or sometimes just got to remind him about his direction. But he does a good job of fixing himself, or he'll just look in the dugout, and I just got to do one thing with my hand and not have it trip, and he's right back to where he is. But for him, it's just giving him a breather. And if I got to
Calling
go
me
out and get this,
old.
yeah, like I'll walk out and just tell Girk, like, hey, I just came out here to give you a breather because you're 38 now, and you're on the 401k for the Explorers. I got to make sure you're all right. And then he gets the next guy out. So,
So then we'll
you know,
just do it back to him. Then I'll just call the catcher out, and we'll just call Bobby out with 2 outs, and I'll just ask him what post game spread is, and told him I just need a breather.
yeah,
And he
yeah,
goes, "Are you all
he'll
right?" And
just
I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." I was like, "We'll get the next guy." I go, "We just figured you were bored in there."
yeah. I came
Go ahead,
out
Bobby.
to the
Go ahead.
mound one. Girk's dealing one time, and next thing I know, he kind of waves me out. I was like, oh no, knee, elbow, what? And here comes the catcher, and he was, you haven't been out here all day. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, I haven't seen you in the dugout all day. I just want to come out and make sure you're still alive. And I just look at him. I'm like, all right, let's turn around and walk away. I mean,
I
what
think
do
it
you
was like
say?
2 outs, nobody on, and I was like, "Oh, let's just get him out. Let's get him some screen time."
Yeah. My
Uh,
guys take care of me, Dan. They take care of
I
me.
know they do. Bobby Post with us, Nate Gherkin with us, and of course Dan Vaughn. Final thing for you, Nate, before I let you go, and we wrap up with Bobby. Now, when you were a youngster, because you've been around, as Bobby mentioned, a few years, was that relationship a little different then? Were you when Bobby came out? Were you a little? Did you kind of have a little fear in your heart, or what was the story early on in your career?
It's well in 2019 they won't admit it, but I was on the bubble of getting cut. So every time in 2019 when I was pitching, I was like, "Well, I got to make sure I pitch good so I don't get axed like all these other guys are getting." But no, it quickly changed to. I think in 2019 we ended up having like an appearance battle with me and Pobo in there, and we didn't really care. We were wanted to pitch in every game, so if one of us pitched and the other one didn't, then we were just yelling at Bobby after the game.
Yeah.
All right.
True. True. And I don't remember him being on the bubble, but I mean he might have been. I don't know.
I mean, I was
But
coming off surgery, so
yeah, there was that. But the thing with Girk is he never not takes the ball. I
Right.
know that on any given day I got to give a guy a break or I got to give a guy a blow. He's in the game, and he might have thrown 2 days in a row. He's not going to tell me no. He might not have his best stuff, but he's not going to say no. And in 19, when I had him and Pobes, um, it was stupid. It was
Yeah.
seven to the ninth was them two, and they never said no. And then there was a couple games where Pubbo don't get the ball and he's complaining and I'm never going to pitch again. So I throw him in a blowout. He gives up 6 runs and like 3 homers, and he comes in like I should have been in the game. Remember that? And I'm like,
yep, he
Poe,
asked for one.
like
Well,
you
Dan
asked
knows
for it.
all about that. We half of our appearances were against Kansas City that year.
That's true. That's true. That's how I got to know you guys. I'm like, wait, I know these guys well. They're in every game. So it's like
Right.
Yeah. Now the only
I had
time
no broadcast prep. I just had knew Nate was going to pitch that night.
Bobby
Yeah.
asked me last year one time if I was good after pitching, and I think it was after 3 innings in Fargo.
It was.
And he asked me the
Did I,
next day just out of courtesy, and I told him,
yeah.
"Yeah, I'm good." And he's like, "Shut up."
I never ask him. Like I'll ask all the other guys, hey, You good today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you good today? Yeah. Hey, you good? And
And we're
Girk will be
out there
standing
playing
there.
catch. He'll go down the whole list. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
I just walk by him.
yeah, I'm good, Bobby. Thanks for asking.
And then the funny part was is Cepeda, who speaks no English. I mean, I don't even think he knows my name. It's like Roberto, maybe. I don't know. So he comes in. He goes, "Hey, how come you don't ask Girk?" I go, "Ask Girk what? If he's bien?" I said, "I don't have to. He's fine." I said, "Tell him in Spanish. He's good. Let's go." And Cepeda just laughs, just
Yeah.
nods his head and laughs. How come you don't ask Girk? I said, "I don't. I have since 19. I don't ask him.
And then
I
after
know
that,
he's good."
Cepeda was good every day. He
Yeah,
didn't ask anything.
exactly. Yeah.
Great, great stuff, Nate. I'm gonna let you roll so I can wrap up with Bobby. But great stuff. I love it. I'm glad we're not retiring because again, that was a beer leader's joke. So all good.
Not
Let you
yet.
go. Appreciate you, man.
All right,
There he
Dan. See
goes,
you.
Nate Gherkin, right there, stopping by real quickly. I was a little that actually came up right for the show. I'm like, you know what? That's a great conversation. Let's just have a mound conversation real quick. Sorry about that. Sorry to throw a
No.
curveball to you, Bobby, but I appreciate it. Couple things with you, Bobby Post here and Dan Vaughn as we wrap things up at Explorers Expresso with Bobby. Um, Back to just sort of things that you and I talk a lot about in our shows on Sunday. But I would ask, because I probably should ask off the top, but I saved it to the very end. Now we're in year 2.5 now. Is that right? Of grandparenthood? Are we that far along? Are we that
Yeah,
far down?
yeah. Two. Two just turned two.
Oh my gosh! So how is life, the grandparenting life, going?
Oh, I love it. It's phenomenal. Now he's talking and he's walking and he's doing all this stuff. He's not playing baseball yet, so I'm a little disappointed. But um, yeah, I wouldn't. That special bond you had as a parent when you're kids, and you're like, man, being a dad is so great, and I look forward to being a father. And now the grandparent stuff, it tops being a dad. I mean, it's unbelievable that you look at him and how he operates and how he does stuff, and he talks and he says this and says that, and then I give him back and he goes home. It's great. It's great. Like I tell my wife, I told Jen, I go, that's all this kid does is mess around. Like he's never serious. He's constantly messing around. He's constantly jacking off. And my wife goes, well, look who he's around all the time. Me and Steve were like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess. And he was walking around with a solo cup and he's spitting
Oh
in it.
no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh
And
no!
oh yeah, yeah, all hell broke loose at the house, right? And I'm thinking to myself, what's he doing? Well, he was mimicking Uncle Steve. Fake Uncle Steve spits in a cup, so does Stet's dog. And yeah, so we're not allowed to do that at the house anymore because he picked that bad habit up.
That, but that's good. Well, I appreciate you taking the time today. I'm looking forward to getting back on Sundays again. Sundays of
Yes,
Bobby, broadcast
yes.
staple. It's the highest rated show in the league. There's no questions asked, no doubt about it. Just like a
No, you can't do what we do. But I appreciate your time having me on, Dan. Sorry about the technical difficulties,
all good.
but yeah, thank you for everything.
Appreciate you, buddy. Tell your wife we said hello. Love you, man. Be good.
All right, love you too. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Absolutely.
Tell
There he
tell your
goes.
tell your wife hello for me, please.
I will, Bobby. There he goes. Bobby
All
Post
right,
right
brother.
there. There he goes. Great stuff from Bobby as always, man. Appreciate him. And I think what you guys should understand, what you just saw, what we just went through this conversation with bringing Nate on, talking about Raf, Bob, Bobby and Steve, all it's what we do. There's a relationship, a feeling about being an explorer and being part of the family. Being whether it be a beer leader, season ticket holder, family member, loved one, team, what all this whole big Sioux City family. And you can tell the love is there, right? I mean, yeah, we bust Raf's chops a lot, vice versa, whatever. I'm an easy target as well. But that's because everybody loves each other. And I've always said this, that, and I always tell my staff this: if at any point I don't sort of tongue in cheek clown on you, that's probably not a good thing, right? Because and I used to kind of laugh about a family that hazes each other stays together. You know, you're going to give your brother the business or sister the business, it's because you love them and you care about them. And it just sort of brings that joy amongst the faithful. There we go. Sioux City Explorers Expresso, Dan Vaughn with you. It is a fun time as John chimes in now. All right, we're a little late now, so I'm going to dispense with a couple things. I'll get to the very end because I want to take the bulk of our time now to address what came up on Monday. Now, I will first say this. I understand there's a lot of angst there. A lot of folks saw this post on Monday, and I'm going to go ahead and just address it right here that Lewis and Clark Park is going cashless. Now, um, some folks were a little shocked by that, taken back. I know that there's some, I used the word angst for the third time today. There's a lot of angst there. Anytime you change anything, it's always an adjustment. You would have told me, say, in 1993, that I'd be going to a game and using my debit card and just scanning it and walking out. I'd be shocked. We were in the airport. My wife and I were 2 weeks ago, and you can walk through the airport at DFW or Intercontinental or wherever, Hobby, and you can go through Love Field, and you can go actually walk through a little gate, buy your snacks without a person there. I mean, it's very bizarre. I've been to Japan. I've seen it in Japan. My kid was in Japan for 2 years, and everything she did was a swipe except for a couple of items, and that's sort of the way it's been going. I get it. It's very uncomfortable for a lot of us. It's uncomfortable for me. Um, I've gotten to the point now where, for me personally, I don't carry cash. It took me a long time to get there. Okay, to be quite honest with you, and I can tell you right now, the cash I've got on my wallet now, it's Belizean. That's it. So with all that, I just throw it out there. I want to say first from the top, I get it. I get it. We get it. We all understand. Everybody from top to bottom understands a lot of folks are concerned about what's going on with the cashless thing. And some of you folks are like, no big deal. But it does matter because when people have opinions and emotions and it's an emotional thing, and I get it. I mean, and there's some theories out there that have come up, and believe me, I get it. We're people of empathy. There's one thing the explorers have always been very empathetic. I'm wearing my ex's Junean Island shirt tonight. By the way, I saw Sam, by the way, on the chat, and good to see her out there. What she did great work with them. But we're not a turn the back on society type organization. My work with the Ronald McDonald House, I think, speaks for itself. Bobby being a part of that too. And we just don't do things and just throw it the wind and say, well, yeah, we don't care what you think. We do care what you think. We do care how you feel, and we love you dearly. Okay. So all that being said, let's answer the questions about cashless that were brought up online. These are all brought up online, and I'm going to go through them and just sort of give you guys sort of the lay of the land here. So to answer you the fears that you guys have. Now, again, it's it's a different world we live in. So let's just go ahead and address that. What about folks who don't have cards? Now, some of you folks have asked, we don't have cards. What are we going to do? Now, this is a little tricky. Um, there's probably a small percentage of you folks that don't have them. I know you don't have them, okay? There is a percentage. It doesn't matter if it's 100% or 1%, there is a percentage, and those people must be taken care of. We get that, okay? We get it. Now, nothing has been officially decided there, but there are some plans in the works to address that. Okay, there's some other teams that do some things. If you've been to games, maybe in Omaha, perhaps, or maybe down at the K, or up in the Twin Cities, you've probably seen some of those things that happen for folks that don't have cards on hand. We're working on that right now. That is something that's in play. I think we already planned on doing that. We didn't think it was something that we need to bring up during the announcement, but we had planned on doing that. So there is something in the works. When it comes up, when that answer is finalized, we'll let you know, but it will be out there. But there is something in place for that small percentage, and it doesn't matter the size of it. It doesn't matter. Empathy doesn't matter the percentage, okay? It doesn't matter 100% or 99% or 1%. It doesn't matter. But for those folks who don't have the cards, we get it. We're going to address that, okay? That will be addressed. Now, what that looks like specifically, not quite sure, but that's happening. Parking situation. This was a little confusing. I will admit I was confused by it. We may have been a little confusing as well on the addressing this, but our parking will have cash bags available. Now, we know a lot of you folks don't want to do this. I mean, a lot of folks don't like putting small numbers on their card. I was huge like that. I used to be really like that. I didn't want to go to the QT and grab some sunflower seeds for $5 or whatever. I mean, I'd want to grab, well, let's get some waters. Well, while I'm here, let's get 2 bags of sea. Let's get a purchase up there, like $15, right? $20. I get it. Last night I literally went to a QT and had something for $2.99. Now, that took me a while to get there. There are some places where I do high school games where the minimum is $5. I get that too. That's not what we're not talking about that. You guys that have a problem with the minimum thing, we get it. So that's why the parking deal will be cash bags available. We understand that a lot of you folks don't want to put the small number in your card. So we got that sorted on the parking end. Okay. We get it. So that's going to be addressed. Okay. So again, the parking situation, merchandise, cash or no cash. Okay. That came up as well. The team store will have cash available. Okay. The team store will have cash available. Okay. So we got that. All right. Again, we're here on Explorers Expresso. I can speak for you April 1st. We're going through the cashless options at Lewis and Clark Park and the questions that came up on Monday's announcement. So we're kind of trying to walk you guys off the plank a bit. Now, for you folks of uh, a small amount fear, I mentioned that a moment ago. For example, a lot of folks like to buy the 50-50 sheets or 50-50 raffle or Hobbs sheets and all that. We will have cash for those. Okay. So if you're looking to buy one of the stat sheets or the raffle, that's a different story. You're going to be able to use the cash for that. Okay. Again, it's the small, for you folks that want the small increments, it doesn't affect you. You folks who don't want to put $2 on the card, that's going to be an option for you. Okay. Let's see here. Now, there was a lot of conversation about fees and percentages and more fees to them and all that. Um, there's not going to be that's not happening. Okay, this is no different than you. I mean, it's hard for me to take this phone and tell you, but this phone is not going to you don't pay $2 and 225 because you're using your phone. You're gonna if the product is $2, you're going to be charged $2, right? When I pay for valet parking, which I do in the city of Dallas quite a bit with my phone or my card, if it's $10, it's $10. If I tip on top of it, that's up to me, right? But you're not going to be you're not going to get a bunch of fees there. No additional credit card fees will be beyond the applicable taxes. Now we got to pay taxes. So if the state levies a tax or if there's a tax involved, we can't cut the corners. That you're still paying taxes if you use cash. It's just figured in the price, just like it is now. Okay, so you're going to have purchase for $5. Let's say it's $5.35 because that 35-cent tax was already figured in the price for cash. It'll be $5.35 on your digital. It doesn't change anything. Okay, so will be no patrons won't be charged beyond the cost of the items except for tax, food, drinks, and merchandise from the team store. All that you're not going to be asked to pay an extra percentage because you're using your card. Okay, it's not a get rich quick scheme for the ball club. This is a digital transaction, and I'm going to get to what I think is going to be very helpful. I'm going to tell a story at the very end of why I think that we probably why I think we're doing this. Why I do. Okay. All right. So anyway, there's no fees there. And we're not like DoorDash or Uber Eats. We're not doing that. Now, if you were doing an Uber Eats or DoorDash, yes, you do pay the fees. When I Uber to the airport, I got to pay a fee to use it, and it's all mixed in there. You go to Vegas for a holiday, you go to someplace for a holiday, go to Orlando. Look at your receipt in Orlando or Vegas, you're going to have all kinds of fees on your receipt at a meal. We're not doing that to you, so no worries there, okay? Are we doing with cowbells? This came up. I think this is more of an angstly, tongue-in-cheek feeling, but some folks ask about this. We're not getting rid of cowbells. I don't know why that was even brought up, but somebody brought it up. No, cowbells are getting really. We're not coming down on everything you guys want to do. This is not taking anything away. This is actually adding in the long run. Again, I'll get to that in a moment during Explorers Expresso on this April 1st edition. Okay. Here is interesting one here. Um, there were several folks here that there were several people that said that the cashless policy is a deal breaker. Uh, they don't understand the nonsense. Don't you get once cash and monetary value is gone? All that. That's not what any of this is. This is not a conspiracy. This is not anything like that. We're not taking your rights away. Nothing like that. And again, just sit there for a moment. I think you'll understand a little bit better where we're coming from when I get to the very tail end here. But again, there's none of that. This is not anything more than convenience for everybody, and I mean everybody. That includes the folks who are working back there, the folks that are walking the stands, the folks that are coming to the gate. Everything's going to be convenient. We'll get there in a moment. Okay, there was confusion again about cash and team store confusing. Again, we're going to take cash for the team store parking, hob stand for the stat sheets, 50/50 raffle again. The cashless is merely to help with concessions and to speed things along. What's the one big complaint fans have had the last few years? You've been on 4th of July, right? We've all been there. No one wants to stand in line and miss any of the action. No one wants to miss anything. We got something going on in the field. We want to get down there in between innings, grab a quick snack and a drink, get back up there. I get it. No one wants to stand in line. Well, if you're just doing a quick ding ding, oh, I say ding, let's just say it this way. Unless you're doing a quick doom 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 with the pull out the for you folks in audio, I'm pulling out the debit card. If you pull the debit card out and swipe, there's no change transaction. There's no counting the money. There's no what do I got to you have a young society of kids who don't know like you and I do. The older folks like us who've been there and made change before. We've done it. We lived in an environment of cash. You have a lot of folks that have it. Now, us older folks, we get it. We understand how to make change, but if this speeds things along, and if it's a swipe, and again, I go back to my travel experience a couple of weeks ago. Wife standing in line. She went to the restroom. I went to the restroom. We're waiting in line to board the plane. I'm able to walk right through, literally swipe for some quick snacks for our flight, and I don't have to stand around and wait. And I'm booming out. I've actually been to Jury World and to the Globe Life Field, both, where you actually walk into a room and your card's already registered, and you can basically carry out what you want to carry out. Ultimate convenience. I'm not fumbling for cash. I'm in and out. It got to a point on dinner the other night, my wife and I, before I could pull the debit card out, she was doing Apple Pay on her phone before I could even get my wallet open. So again, that's if this speeds up the concessions process and your lines are they may still be lines, but they're quicker, more efficient. So suddenly a 10-person line is a 2-person line because it goes like this. That's what the idea is. So this is going to address the biggest complaint that our fans had. You guys told us last year, you've told us for several years, that's what you wanted to be improved. And we're trying to do that. This is one step to improve that down the line. So there we go. Okay. Let's see here. Hobbs Raffle split the bucket. We're not getting away with that. It's still going to be there. I mentioned that's come up as well. Hobbs stat sheets, 50/50, yes, will be cash. Now, the program will be free this year. It'll be digital. A lot of teams are going to that now because you can update the program a lot easier. For example, a digital program, I can change it every homestand. Where if you print up one program all year, a guy who gets signed in June may not be there in August. But on digital, you see, and we can update, for example, our website, we update and this is something I'm very proud of. We update our bios and we sign a player today. His bio goes up right away with all the information for you, the fans. That's what a digital program game notes look like. That's what we're trying to do. Make it better and more instant, not in it also, rather than by the time we print up new programs, they're already outdated. So that's another example of what this digital thing can be a benefit for. And that doesn't cost you anything. Programs are free and they're not going to cost you anything. They're going to be updated as well. You're going to know who new player came in August 1st was. Okay. So again, Hobbs raffle, again, this came up a lot. The raffle's a big deal. What Hobbs does is a great deal. It's not going to change anything here, okay? All right, Explorers Expresso rounding third here. There's pretty much the question. One more question here was about cash tips, and tipping's not required. But if you want to leave a tip, either cash or credit, that's going to be something you can do. Now, and if you've been anywhere where you had to use your debit card, that's been an option. There's a few places not like that, and I always ask. I'm to the point where I ask. Now, granted, you know, everything's a little different, but I usually ask. If they don't offer a tip thing, then I don't worry about it. If they offer a tip, I do. If you don't want to tip, tipping's not required for any service in the ballpark. If you want to, it's up to you. And if you get great service, if you expect great service, you get it great service. If you want to tip, that's what you do. As one who's worked for tips, I get it, and that's why you've got to make sure you have a way for folks who do have tips. They can get tips, so there'll be a way for that as well here. So I hope that answered your questions. If you've got any questions or comments on that, please farm away here as we wrap things up here on Explorers Expresso. It's now dramatic pause time. And that was the bonus content you just heard right there on Explorers Expresso's audio version. Glad you're along. Dan Vaughn with you. Some things to get to wrap things up this April 1st edition. A little bit long. Imagine that. A little bit long here. 45 days to the first ball game. It'll be the 15th of May in Chicago. Tomorrow will be the 50th day to the home opener. Let me bring this down here. Let me bring this up. Sorry about that, folks. Talk to yourselves at home. There, let's bring this down. Sorry. I got caught there. There we go. Tomorrow, 50 days to opening day at Lewis and Clark. Looking forward to having you guys out. Should be a lot of fun. But by the way, coming up, I do believe next week's show, I will know later in the week, but I believe Emily Truckee is going to join me. We will go through the promotional calendar to what extent we've got it ironed out. There'll be some late additions, but that is coming. We're going to visit with her. We're also going to visit with the rest of the staff as well, but we'll get you caught up. But Emily will be joining us to talk about what the promotion calendar looks like. Looking forward to that. But that's coming. We're 50 days away is here on Explorers Expresso. By the way, you can download our show on wherever you get your podcasts, but Buzzsprouts are where that's hosted as well. And I can put that on the screen for you. I do that every week. Let's do it right here for you guys. But there's where we do our Buzzsprout right there. That's the link right there to our Buzzsprout page for all of our podcasts are. And you can check them out there. And of course, all the interviews. We've had some really good really got some folks fired about baseball now, and we're getting some really great feedback on our podcast. So thank you for you folks that are doing that. I mentioned, too, a couple of league items I want to get to quickly. Again, we're going to blow through these really fast because we went over with Nate Gherkin joining the Bobby Post extravaganza here. But the Baseball Champions League, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring this up. It was a great event. Congratulations to King County and some friends, champions of the Baseball Champions League. What a great event, great league exposure. My knee jerks from that event quickly are this. Great for the league. The exposure was fantastic, right? Great for the league leading up to the season. Growth potential. I can see this thing really, it's going to take some time, but growth potential. Are they learning things? Absolutely. There's some things to work out. Absolutely. But I think it's here to stay. I hope it is. And I like the extra zing of the rosters, having a few extra players from Fargo and from wherever else, kind of Winnipeg, whatever the case may be, with Max Murphy. It adds a little zing. When I was involved with the Asia series in Australia, we had the same thing where we had a couple of ringers from other teams join Perth and vice versa. When Canberra played, Perth and Sydney had some players go play in the Asia series. I love this. I love that part of the zing. The thing I would say, too, and this is something I'll probably ask down the road when we get someone from the league on, it was noticeable to me on the screen that when King County played, unless they played Mexico City, there weren't folks in the stands. There was a reason for that. And the reason was when King County and say, Chinese Taipei or Chinese CPBL team played, there was no fans there for a reason. They didn't stab it. They didn't open the gates. And it was done that way for a reason. They broadcast those games back in Taiwan in prime time, thus the early start. Not having a 10 a.m. staff for a game that was being broadcast a world away with fans that went around. That was one of the big things. So, again, they did staff it a little differently. We'll talk about that a little bit more. But again, there's a lot of potential there, a lot of growth potential. I can see that being it's here to stay, I believe. And congratulations to the league, to Josh Schaub and the directors and everybody involved with that program. Congratulations to everybody that was involved down there. to catch the Baseball Champions League. And those Kane County Cougars all getting a W down there, getting I guess they get rings or something. There's the trophy resting peacefully in a Mexico City hotel. You folks in audio, it's a photo of the trophy nestled in bed. Nice shot right there. And there's one more piece of news too. Catch, an official partner now, new a partner with the association as well. Preferred supplier of the league. They're a core technology provider across the league, and they'll be streamlining club operations, data, payments, concessions, and fans transactions. So kind of in timing with the cashless deal for us. This new group, Catch, will be part of the American Association going forward, but you can read about that on the league website as we round third and head for home here on Explorers Expresso on this April 1st edition. Dan Vaughn with you. Last call for questions and comments. Transaction sheet. A couple of notes this week. Alex McGarry is back in King County. There were a couple of trades. The big one, though, was Ben Kozlowski to King County from Winnipeg. Player to be named later. Those are a couple of big names. Nothing jumped out at me. There were a couple of interesting pieces in Ryan Anderson and Austin Hanson in Kansas City. The one more thing about the league as well I would throw out there is that I saw where Kansas City, and we talked about them already, that Joe Capietra did bring back a name you may recognize. Matt Pazzarelli is going to be coaching on the bench. Then Kenny Hook, who was also a manager in this league in Kansas City, is back on his staff. So that news coming up as well down from Kansas City. So I just throw it out there here. We do like to give a little league pub when we can here on Explorers Expresso. But again, last call on the questions and comments. We're now an hour old. I blew through everything as fast as I could. I think we got everything sort of caught up right there. Questions, comments, all that. Again, promotions around the corner. Player news. You heard Bobby tease a few things. There's some things coming. There'll be a flurry of activity coming as we get closer, about 4 weeks out from port date right now. So you'll see that coming up. Roster-wise, I mentioned earlier, 21 currently signed. The X's have 7 infielders, 3 outfielders. Now, one of those infielders, maybe 2, could be swing guys. They could play the outfield as well, utility piece as well. And thank you very much, Kenny. Good to see you out there as well. By the way, Kenny, last night, our Grandview Zebra broadcast kind of went kaput. Sorry about that. Didn't get you a link last night. Appreciate it. But again, rest of the roster and notes right there. 2 catchers, 9 arms, 7 right, 2 lefties. And you heard Bobby talk about some exciting things there. It's a lot in the works for the X's in the roster building. So right there, get you pretty much covered on the show. Thanks to Bobby Post and Nate Gergen for stopping by. Now, next week, back at it. At the moment, it looks like Emily will join me. If she's ready to announce some promotions, we will have Emily on next week. We will roll with the promotional announcements there. If not, we'll shift things around. Got to chat with Bruce at some point. Got to get with him. Our greatness of Bruce Fishback, our trainer. Also, we're going to be introducing you to our new assistant media personnel, which is going to be announced hopefully in the next couple of days. We're still working through that, so that's coming as well. And we'll also have some reaching out the league to grab some league help and perhaps maybe even chat with John Witt. Maybe we can grab him. Maybe John will come on and chat about the life down the clubhouse before he gets too busy. He will get busy down there. All right. Thanks for stopping by, you guys. Anything else? I'm here. Anything about cashless? Anything about anything? You fired up? You excited? I'm fired up. Hope you're I'm just doing a lot of this. Throwing curveball. I'm breaking them off here, left and right. Here we go. Breaking them off left and right. And looking forward to seeing y'all's bright, smiling faces just in a few weeks' time. About 4 weeks from now. It's in April 1st now. And we're going to be reporting to camp on the 1st of May. And all of a sudden, boom, 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 we'll be at May 15th for opener in Chicago. So it's all coming at us fast and furious here on Explorers Expresso. Again, thanks to Bobby Post. Thanks to Nate Gerken. Jason says he's ready to get back at the field. We're all ready to get back, Jason, and the beer leaders and everybody. Some big things planned there as well. Looking forward to getting everybody back. Can't just wait to see and give a hug to everybody down, or not down, up. I'm down, up there in Sioux City, Iowa. Big thanks to our front office for their help. Travis, Emily, and Emma for their help in those answers for our cashless roundtable. It wasn't a roundtable, our cashless discussion. Can't wait to see everybody, Joe says as well. Joe, I can't wait to see you either. Looking forward to seeing everybody back there. And you folks who stopped by for 5 minutes, the entire time. The reason I do believe we are the best, we are. Little engine that could, that little engine that could, the Sioux City Explorers. We're the best because you're the best, the fans of the X's, and we always want to be better fans tomorrow than we were today. Show more love going forward the rest of the way and just continue to get good vibes. A crazy, crazy, cruel world, but with each other, we can all get through it and just keep rolling right along and showing love and empathy every day going forward. All right, go X's time. You guys ready? I'm ready. We're about ready. Get those voice pipes ready. By the way, got the open and close queued up here, so I think we should be ready to go. Again, next week, noon Central Daylight Time. We go every week now the rest of the way. We don't take a break now. We just roll to opening day 2026. All right, here we go. Y'all ready? I'm ready. We're all ready. 1, 2, 3. Go X's. I love y'all. We'll see y'all next week, everybody.
Well, it's baseball time in Siouxland once again. The Explorers are out to bring home another.
You know what? I just realized I left one thing off. I don't usually do it this way, but I'm going to stop real quick. I mentioned I was going to close out with something a moment ago, and I do want to do it again one more time for you guys that we were talking about this whole cashless thing. I had a note here to say to the very end, and I say to the very end. So let me take to the close here, okay? I'm sorry, I'll edit this for the audio so it'll be a little better. I was a general manager in Burlington, Iowa back in, I was interim GM in 98 or 99 season. I filled in for a year. It was a real learning experience for me, the great game of baseball. And what I can tell you from those days is that just personally, we would take our boxes and our cash drawers and count them and pass them to the next person and count them. But my biggest fear as a GM at the time, because I had to make the deposits, was that cash would disappear. Now, I knew I wasn't going to put it in my pocket. I knew the next person was, but there's nothing stopping folks. So I throw that out there as sort of a little bit of a caveat that there's also efficiency for you guys coming to the ballpark and for us on the back end as well. And it just streamlines the process and it takes out that angst and anxiety. I've used angst now 5 times a day. Takes anxiety out of it all. So I will throw that in there just sort of like parting word. I mentioned I was going to tell you a story, and again, I'm sorry. So let's try it again. Let's close it out again. Stop, start, DB. Stop, start. Now let's do it again. All right, let's do it. Let's say goodbye finally. Boy, my wheels are off today. 1, 2, 3. Go X's. I will see you next week, everybody.
And once again, the Explorers are out to bring home another win. And when they take the field, they'll be hitting and running and stealing. So come out to the park for that big league good time feeling. Well, it's baseball Sioux City style. Baseball Sioux City style. Gonna conquer the league. Hold on to your seat. The Explorers just won't be beat. Every night, Siouxland screams out loud.